lovers, the moon is a thing of beauty. But to this man it is a deadly curse. When the moon is full, this miserable wretch turns into a hairy, snarling half-man, half-beast. Prowls the night, his fangs thirsty for human blood. He is a werewolf.
Hello and welcome to the Werewolf by Night podcast, the show where we talk about Marvel's number one lycanthrope, Jack Russell, also known as the Werewolf, the Beast, and the Shaggy One. I'm your co-host, Matt Howell.
I'm your other host, Jacob Balcom.
Thanks for joining us this week, listeners. We are here for our second giant-sized issue. Feels like that was just yesterday, Jacob.
Yeesh.
We read Giant-Sized Chillers number 1. And this is quarterly, but all of a sudden here we are at another one? I don't understand.
Well, like we talked about before, we kind of did the overview of the giant size issues. They came out with a big plan to put them out regularly, and they basically just came out willy-nilly whenever they could.
So it's not just me.
No, it is not just you.
Because this says, Giant Size Creatures 1 says July on the cover date, and this says October. Well, that's a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Huh. I guess time was just flying. And we had the same creative team on Giant Size Creatures, right? Oh, no, we had Isabella writing.
Yeah, we had Isabella writing.
And then Perlin and Coletta. Interesting. Well, at least we have Doug Munch writing this.
Yeah, definitely. It's maybe not his strongest issue, but, you know, we go into the giant size issues with lowered expectations.
Yes, join us, won't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna dive right in, but we always like to mention at the top of the show that you can send us email at werewolfbynightpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to get your opinions, your thoughts, your suggestions, queries, whatever. Say hey. All right, Giant Size Werewolf. I'd forgotten that it's just called Giant Size Werewolf, not Giant Size Werewolf by Night. Is that what the? Nope, it's just called even in the what's it called? Indicia? Is that how you say the?
I always said it Indicia, but
Indicia.
maybe...
Nope, you're right. It's Indicia.
Okay.
Now that you said it, I remembered. Anyway, here we are. Mine says 68 big pages slapped across the top, and this cost somebody a whole whopping 50 cents?
50 cents, wow.
So there's a lot of filler in the back, the reprints of older Atlas-era horror stories, which I find more interesting a lot of times than the new story, and usually better art. But
yeah, definitely better art.
Yeah. So here we've got a cover by Gil Kane and inked by Tom Palmer, and it's got the ever-present attention of Mr. John Romita Jr. or Senior, coming in and doing some alterations. We're assuming that's to the faces, or some here and there touch-ups. He was the art director at this time, correct?
That's right. And when he comes in and does his alterations, 9 out of 10 times it's on the faces. And I think in the Grand Comics database, it said that he definitely did alterations on the monster's face. On
this particular issue?
Yes.
So that's good. And
yeah.
I don't mind Romita stepping in and touching up some of Kane stuff. I know he didn't like it, but this is one of the best werewolf faces I feel like I've seen in a while. Almost like, I'm not saying the best, like including Plug necessarily, but like the most striking since like Sutton. Like some of those, the savagery of the Sutton wolf. It's here on this cover.
Yeah, I thought Sutton as well. I mean, I think that, God, I wouldn't be shocked if this was really just Gil Kane layouts, because this looks like Tom Palmer doing a really good job. And I totally agree. The savage werewolf face on this cover is one of the best we've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm. I love it. On this cover, we have quite a scene going on, and I feel like personally one of the most unintentionally funny things we've seen so far in this entire run, which we'll get to in a second. So this scene we see is the Frankenstein's monster. And if you haven't seen Marvel's version of the Frankenstein monster, he wears a big, like, Hell's Angels fur biker vest. Like, he's a big, hairy, farting violent biker, like a hippie kind though. The hippies wore the big fur vests for some reason. But anyway,
yeah, no, he's running security at Altamont.
So he's very big and muscle bound, and the werewolf has jumped onto his back, is chomping on his neck, and has just enwrapped him in his limbs. So that's going on in the foreground. In the background, we have a great scene. There is a big altar, think like Temple of Doom type of like stone altar with faces and demons carved into it. A guy wearing a robe with an inverted cross on the front, emblazoned in gold. He's holding up some type of sacred knife, ready to stab it down into the victim that is on display for the human sacrifice. And he's saying, no matter which creature wins, the girl dies. And in the further background, there's more cult members wearing the same robes, looking like monks, but with satanic versions of monks. And the funniest thing to me is the woman who is about to have her heart pierced by this ceremonial knife and be sacrificed to the devil is looking in shocked horror at the scene of the two monsters battling. And she looks like she just got interrupted while she was getting a massage in a spa. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Mrs. Dumont or whatever, like from the Marx Brothers. She's like, I never.
So did we decide now? I think most of the time when a cover kind of doesn't have exactly as much to do with the story, we were going to drink to that, right? I only think that this one counts because the woman that's about to be sacrificed looks nothing like Lissa. Like they just basically draw in just, a quote unquote woman in a lot of these covers, not really paying attention to who that actual character might be. I don't know about you, but looking at that makes me want to drink.
All right.
So I'm drinking.
All right. I think that's niggling because this is suggesting that a female is about to be sacrificed by a cult and the werewolf and Frankenstein's monster are fighting. That happens.
It totally happens. It does. But I guess I don't know.
Okay. So we've already spoiled the climax.
Yes, the cover actually happens.
All right, let's just take this from the top. Welcome to the Werewolf by Night. No. Okay, so the copy here, there's a big box that says new Man Beast versus Man Monster, the monster of Frankenstein. And on the bottom, there's another box that says bonus, more tales of mystery and the macabre, which are the reprints we were talking about. So what do you think of this cover? I really like it. At first it seemed a little overwhelming and busy to me, but the more I focus on the details of Palmer's inks probably and stuff like that, I really dig it. I love all the detail of the little heads carved into the ceremonial altar and the demon-y bat things and, inverted crucifixes on a comic cover in the 70s is pretty awesome.
Oh, it's totally awesome. No, I absolutely love this cover. I think it's great. All the little details are great. Again, this looks more like a Palmer or a Sutton than a traditional Gil Kane. That's why, a lot of these times when it'll be Gil Kane penciling and someone else inking, it just looks like the style of whoever is inking.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious what Gil Kane's pencils were on some of these. Because again, he's doing, 100 covers a month. So yeah, I wonder how much detail is actually put in.
I would say that Romita definitely did the cult leader's face and the werewolf's face.
Definitely. I would think so.
Yeah. So at any rate, I like this cover. It's a little busy and off-putting at first, but it grows on me the more I look at it. So let's dive in to 68 pages of fun.
Oof. So,
which translates to 31 pages for you folks. Don't worry.
Yeah. So the credits for this issue, like I said, we have Doug Munch and as writer, Don Perlin artist, Vinnie Coletta inker, Petra Goldberg colorist, Roy Thomas editor, and we have Dave Hunt as letterer again, which is not my favorite. So we're going to have the letters are going to be a little too slanted or italicized for me, but oh well, it's fine. And I really like this opening page. It's simple but cool. The top quarter of the page, Matt, you and I were talking about this earlier as to try to figure out what to call that. So there's a long kind of box at the very top of the page that just gives a little background on the character. Like, just saying, the tag's Russell with a jack in front of it. And it just kind of tells his story. And it really seems like random words are in bold. that really don't have a whole lot to do with how you would stress those words in a normal sentence. And then under that, there's the actual title of the book. That is the title for this page, which is The Frankenstein Monster Meets Werewolf by Night. Yeah, the top like quarter of the page is the text and the title, and the rest of the page below is just one big panel. And it's basically Frankenstein's monster is throttling the beast on a beach, like kind of framed by the moon. And what do you think of this illustration?
Not my favorite werewolf.
Yeah, definitely not my favorite werewolf.
Looks like something I would sketch on the agenda at a team meeting or something, like just while someone's talking.
Yeah,
that's really elevating my doodles. I'm sorry. No shade to Coletta and Perlin, but not my favorite. I do like the Frankenstein's monster creature, but I find myself wondering, he's easily twice the size of Jack. And I was trying to figure out why is Frankenstein so huge all the time? Like, he's assembled from bodies dug up in a graveyard. He's not assembled from giants.
It's not like parts of Andre the Giant and Detlef Schrempf or something. You know?
They didn't embiggen him out of some wrestler's graveyard or something. I don't understand why he's so big. But I get it. The physicality is a thing. Yeah, and I also thought it was kind of funny because he's throttling the beast in the surf. So I was wondering, was there somebody's intention at this point to just like have like all the giant size issues take place on the beach?
Yeah, I wondered that too, especially every opening page of Giant Size is going to be on the beach somehow.
I guess this actually makes sense. This is not a random panel. This would actually take place between two scenes at the end of the issue, now that I'm thinking about it.
That's right.
Okay, I didn't even think of it in a chronology. Okay, now I don't have as much of an issue with it.
Okay.
I just picture them running towards each other from a long shot, embracing, kissing. So yeah, we were trying to figure out what that's called at the top, where it says, I'm sure you folks know what we're talking about if you read old comics, where it says the thing at the beginning, like Peter Parker bitten by a radioactive spider, blah, blah. So it's that kind of like, if this is your first Spider-Man, you probably want to know what the hell is going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that but we don't think there's a name for it. I couldn't find one.
I'm calling it an explanatory masthead.
And I like it.
I kind of like it.
I like it. I think it's going in the books. And the title of this one, I think, is a nice little nod to Universal, to the Universal movie when Frankenstein monster fought the werewolf. So that's kind of a fun little nod there. So if you recall, these are divided up into 3 chapters. This one is actually 3 chapters and 1 prologue, which I thought was an interesting addition that was totally unnecessary. But so chapter 1 is Prisoners of Flesh. And I think that's going to be my new black metal band. If you want to start working on some stuff with me, Prisoners of Flesh.
I'm in.
Do you play black metal?
Yeah, I do now.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we have this great shot. This is Petra coloring, correct? So we get those cool palette she uses again that are so kind of black light postery almost, the greens and purples and stuff like that, and the blues. And it's this great shot of the back of the Frankenstein's monster looking down a dirty, filthy alleyway at the silhouettes of these 2 kids down at the other end talking. And he walks towards them, and one of them's this blonde dude with shoulder-length hair, and another dude's an African-American dude with an afro. So these are like American youths. So the blonde kid's like, why shouldn't we rip other people off? They're the ones who won't give us jobs. Went to the employment office just today. It threw me out because I got long hair. And then the other guy, I'll let you take the other guy's line, but I immediately love these guys.
Yeah, the other guy is just like, look, man, don't jive me about discriminating against physical appearance. And the next page says, because I've been down that road, brother, and it's one way for me. All you got to do is cut your hair and you're in. And then the guy with the dirty blonde hair is like, no way, man, my hair is part of me. And he's already just like, yeah, he's just the worst stereotype of a hippie. Both these guys kind of made me really angry. So I was kind of mad that we didn't get Frankenstein just kind of murdering them. But yeah, and then we get a lot of the heavy-handed dealing with race that Marvel did in the early 70s. And the blonde hippie says to his African American friend, "Sure, I could cut it, but if you could dye your skin white, would you?" And I'm just like, "Oh my God, what is this guy going to say to that?" And the guy's like, "Okay, so we're in the same boat." I was just like, "Wow, all right."
I love this perfect preservation of white privilege. Like, man, I got just as bad as you, man.
Yeah.
You could literally cut your hair and get a job anywhere on this block today. No, man. It's like fucking Rachel Dolezal. I feel all your pain, man. Yeah, but you can just turn a switch and not be in it. No, it's not like that.
Oh God, I know, it's pretty terrible. But then he says, but still, it makes my gut churn to know that people are going to look at other people and judge them by their looks rather than what's inside. And then they hear this the sound behind them, and they turn around. They're like, "That sound, what?" He's like, "Oh my Lord, Jimmy, look at that!" And yeah, it's Frankenstein's monster just sneaking up on them from an alley, which is really, really funny.
In NYC, and I love that. Yeah, as the panels progress, like he's just getting closer and closer, and just like hovering over them and listening to their conversation.
So yeah, I guess I should have gone back and read a little. Marvel did a book called The Frankenstein Monster that was originally, I think the first 10 issues are drawn by Plug. So Plug basically designed this. Mm-hmm. And so I really kind of wanted, I should have gone back and read more of those things. But I was curious if you found this too. It seemed, I don't know exactly how cognizant Marvel's Frankenstein's monster is, but he seems to listen and really understand a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. Like more than I would kind of expect for the monster to understand.
Yeah,
I guess I'm just more used to the universal, like, friend, good, smoke, good.
Yeah, and I think that maybe when Brad was on, we were talking about the early issues of that and how the first like 3 or 4 issues were Mary Shelley's Frankenstein pretty truthfully, or what's the word? I don't have the words today. I'm so sorry. You have to fill in
accurate.
Sure. And if that's the case, I mean, the monster in the book, I've read Frankenstein 3 times. I love that book. I mean, he's a person. He's hideous to behold, but he's a thinking, feeling person that speaks. He learns to speak like a child. I don't know if they did that in any of the Marvel iterations of this guy, but he definitely understands what's going on. Yeah, we'll see that later.
Okay.
I just love that he's walking around New York City. Like, this is pre-cleanup of New York City. So this was like the filthy, get stabbed somewhere, mid-70s, horrifying New York City.
Oh, and yeah.
He's just walking around. I don't know. He's chalk white. He's got a big, long face, huge chin. He looks like Ron Perlman, kind of. It meets Tombstone, that Spider-Man villain, if you ever seen Tombstone. He's interested in these guys. Can I ask you a question? You don't see this because you don't get ads. Do you remember Big Jim? I have a double-page spread for Big Jim Kung Fu and sports action toys.
Yeah,
and they're
it's
they have this like little like plastic gun that you would insert into their back, and you pull a little trigger, and it makes them do their Kung Fu karate chop or their baseball bat swing, like their sports stuff. Do you remember this?
I think that was before both of our times.
Oh yeah, but I mean just the ads.
For sure.
Sorry.
I remember the ads, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, just from reading old issues. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a Big Jim figure in the wild.
I have not either. So I was just wondering how common they were. The little gun that you insert into their back is called the muscle mover. What makes Big Jim move? This exclusive new muscle mover. It comes with each and every Kung Fu and pro sports action set. Wow. Sorry. There's some of those toys that were advertised that were before our time that I've always just passionately wanted to have, and I've never bothered to track one down. Like, there was something that was a Spider-Man thing. There's more than one, but it was like a line that you set up, and it supposedly like flew across the room like a zip line. I'm sure it didn't work at all like it said it did, but
see,
I was obsessed with those.
I wanted to, I always wanted to order stuff from like old comics. And I wanted to order it just to be severely disappointed by it.
Yeah.
Because those ads for like a 6-foot tall ghost, and it's like the flimsiest piece of paper that you've ever seen.
Yeah, but it flies at your command. It follows your commands.
It totally does.
There is a book you can buy. I forgot the exact name, but it's just like about the stuff, the shit advertised in the comic books and what it really was, with photos of the actual product you got and stuff. I've almost bought that like dozens of times.
My wife has a couple of the, she's a big fan of the super early Golden Age stuff. And she's tracked down through her thrifting and different buying at little antique shops. She has a couple of the rings that you could get, like fancy gold ring, and so we've seen it and actually like compared it to some of the ads. Whoa. And it's like the most flimsy piece of tin that you've ever seen.
Have you guys ever come across any of those like decoder rings, like the old radio serial? Were those real? Like the ones that are referenced in A Christmas Story? I feel like I talk about A Christmas Story a lot on the show, and I don't know why it comes up.
I think you talk about it an appropriate amount.
Okay. I mean, I only watch it once a year. I don't know why it comes up so much.
Yeah, I've never seen any of the decoder rings. Alicia has a pretty good collection of of pins.
They had badges, right? That had a little wheel in them.
Yeah, there's a couple of those. She has some of the Little Orphan Annie stuff, and
was it Smasher ones?
Pep cereal or something that had a bunch of like the Gasoline Alley characters.
Oh, cool!
And and some of they're really, really cool. But I guess a lot of them. She has some that were her dad's that he got when he was a little kid in cereal boxes, like in the 40s. And so
he was we have a nice cereal boxes.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
He got big though, right?
Eventually.
We are the littles. Okay. I'm in case you're concerned you're looking at the runtime and you're like, wow, this is going to be a long episode. We're going to be flying through some of this. So digressions are not adding on to the total runtime. Digressions are saving you from some of the fluffiness of the story. So we'll move along here though.
Yep.
So the two characters look at him, and say, oh my God, it's a monster. Holy crap, get out of here. And they start running. And the monster's confused. He's hurt. You get this great panel, like this Charlie Brown kind of looking down, all downcast, and he's thinking, those guys were saying people judge us by how we look and we can't control that. And I thought I had potential friends in these guys, and they ran off and were scared of me because of how I look. So, cue the Charlie Brown sad walk music.
Yeah, sad Hulk music here for sure. And on the next page, we switch views to the docks. And it reads, elsewhere on this sprawling island called Manhattan, two friends meet, united by a common bond of wasted years and shredded dreams.
This is my favorite page.
It's a really great page. That's why I definitely want to talk about it. Because there's a couple of winos. Pardon me, proud Union men of the docks. And they are talking. One of them says, hey, Gimpy, you see where this Danton guy is making a big splash in the papers? Claims he can scientifically perform the transmigration of souls. I was like, oh, no.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Not only are there winos, they're exposition winos.
Oh, they're so great. And I like that poorly named Gimpy. His reply to his friend is like, what's a transmigration of souls anyway? I imagine he sounds like Nutsy from the Disney's Robin Hood, And his buddy's like, it says here it's like a liver transplant, except it's your soul that's transplanted. Wouldn't it be great, Gimpy, to have your soul put in a new body, a strong young body? Then it's like the most pathetic panel you've ever seen of this guy who's dressed like a cartoon clown wino, and he's just looking at you with the saddest expression. He's like, yeah.
And then he just so many wasted years in his eyes.
And he just throws his wine bottle into the bay. You're like, oh God, so depressing. Oh. Yeah, the guy's like, come on, Gimpy, let's go get another bottle. Dreaming like this won't get us anywhere. It reminded me of. That's what I was thinking too. I was thinking of the two bums, just like, who needs money when we got feathers?
If I were like a teenager when this came out, I would have written a letter demanding that Gimpy and whatever are in every fucking issue of anything published in New York City. God, I was, yeah.
Yeah, they're so awesome, and so. Frankenstein's monster is listening to them talking about this and totally understanding everything. And one of the guys says, that guy's way out in Los Angeles. And where would we get the money to go out there? Still, it sure would be nice to have a new body, another chance at life. You see Frankenstein's monster being like, Los Angeles, you say.
Counting his coins, getting them lint out of his hand.
You're right. That might be one of the
to this L.A.
That might be one of the best pages.
Yeah, and I love that. Is Gimpy the one that's all sad?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like Lucille Ball in like a sketch, like playing a hobo in a comedy sketch or something.
That's like a great description.
God.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Okay, so we meet off screen here the villain of this. Did this say his full name? Maybe we'll save it till later. So on the next page, we're going to expedite here a little bit because this kind of drags its feet. The first act, just getting him to California. So he walks to the train yards. He climbs into an open car. A flashlight plays across him. He turns around, surprised. He looks like Peter Noon from Herman's Hermits. And there's a what do you call those cops? The bulls, or what are the guys that walk the yard called?
I think bulls.
Bulls? That sounds right. And so he starts shooting at the Frankenstein monster, and he backhands him, sends him flying, and he says, he doesn't move, so I don't know, maybe I killed him. He doesn't know. But he's not moving, so he climbs onto his train.
Yeah, and this next page, I mean, I kind of like the simplicity of layout here. It's just 6 like long rectangular panels, but I kind of liked it. It looked kind of, I don't know, cool and smartly done. But
before we move on, though, I did want to mention that all the narration boxes, because this is almost all narration boxes on the page I just described, Munch's prose is very heavy and flowery, and
it's
trying to find a good example. A glaring splash of yellow light abruptly isolates him from the gloom, and a strident voice barks, "All right, hobo, you ain't riding any rails on this trip." Oh my God! Anyway, he said something when he's sad. When he's all sad and Charlie Brownie, he says, "It fails to halt their mad flight, and this is ample grist for the giant's poignant despair."
Oh my God! I know.
Ample grist.
Yeah, it's not great. So, but yeah, basically this entire page is just the monster on his way to LA, and he decides to eat a rat, and that's the most exciting thing that happens on this page.
Yeah, the journey is long, solitary one, shared only with gloom, rats, and hunger. Which is that should be our was it Flesh for Satan or whatever?
So our first record will be called
Prisoners.
Gloom, Rats, and Hunger.
Prisoners of Flesh, Gloom, Rats, and Hunger. Yeah, are you still on this page, or can I move on?
Oh God, please move on.
So it says he sleeps 3 times. So there's letting us know this will be a dissolve in a film showing him traveling across a little map of the U.S. And he hears a voice saying, though, like, "Hey, we got to stop every train because that dude almost got killed in New York. So the guy that attacked him might be on the train." So he's realizing, oh shit, they're searching all of the cars. He's a pretty smart monster. So they're approaching, and they're like, "Hey, maybe we haven't checked this one yet," or whatever. And they're getting closer and closer, and he just goes full Kool-Aid Man and just stands up and charges out the side of the train car. But little does he know that they are on a very steep, very tall, sheer cliff face. So he just jumps out through the train and continues to fall down, 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 down. The cops run in like, "Holy crow!" And they watch him go down, and it's not a completely sheer cliff face, so he actually hits some outcroppings of rocks and bounces down like Homer would. Yeah. And he's like, "Well, whoever bust out of this car, he just got the biggest shock of his life."
So the next page, the cops are looking through like the gaping hole in the train car, and they look down the cliff face, and that second panel is amazing. Like it almost looked like a Doctor Strange Ditko style, like chasm or something. Like it's so awesome. And I don't know, a lot of that has to do with Petra Goldberg.
Yeah.
Because God, there's so many different shades and different colors in it. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. If our eye were the camera, we're looking down at the train on the edge of the cliff, at the cops peeking out through the hole, looking down the cliff into the water below. So it's got this crazy angle that's very vertiginous and makes you feel almost kind of dizzy just looking at it, the way it's the perspective works. It's great.
Yeah, it's so cool. So one of the cops is like, "Ain't nobody can live through a fall like that. Case is closed, boys, for good."
I don't think that's how police work, is it?
That's how police works.
The suspect is dead, so we're done here.
Yeah. No,
take him away, toys.
Yeah.
It's pretty Simpsons episode so far, isn't it?
Let's just work in Simpson references every single page.
I love this drawing of this cop, though, because he's got the mirrored cop sunglasses, and he's got that just kind of, like he looks like one of those, like, what we got here is a failure to communicate kind of cops.
Yeah, he does.
Come in the woods with me, boy.
And so, but actually, the bottom 5 real tall rectangular panels are kind of beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's basically showing the monster like floating in the water, kind of towards the shore. It's really cool looking.
And I've asked you this before. I don't think we've ever figured it out, but the first 4 of those 5 column panels is basically one long shot divided by gutters to kind of create a sense of time as you move. So as the monster drifts in with the tide to this little inlet, it's broken up into 4 panels. I love that when that happens.
Yeah, I do too. And so, this end of this page says end chapter 1.
Yeah. So let's all go out to the lobby, have a martini.
I'll get myself a snack.
Delicious Chesterfield. Do you need a beer?
No, I still have one for now.
Okay. I do too. But I will need one I'll need a recharge at some point.
Yeah.
I'm getting low.
Say the word.
Okay. So now we're in the prologue to chapter 2, and we get Sister Lissa. And this prologue is bananas. I had so many questions. So she is in that temple type of thing that we saw on the cover, and she's wearing her typical Lissa, like this is her action figure, her kind of, what is that top called? It's not a bikini, but it's basically a bikini. It's a crop top or?
Crop top, yeah.
Red crop top with her white hip huggers and her black belt. That's kind of her uni at this point. So she's standing around a bunch of cult members with torches and inverted crucifixes. And she's like, look, I joined this loony Brotherhood of Ba'al because I thought it might be able to help someone close to me. But you can have your ugly robe back now. And she's throwing a satanic cult member robe on the ground. And she has her hands on her hips. And she says, because Lissa Russell plays no one's fool. And then she has this weird panel where she looks like she's Scarlet Witch or something. She's casting a spell. Is she mocking them? Because she says... And when you nuts start raving about human sacrifice, is she like waving her hands around like you wacky nuts?
I would think that's it, but it honestly looks like she's casting a spell at them. So good.
Yeah, so she's saying, when you guys start talking about human sacrifice, baby, I'm gone. And then one of the guys starts surging towards her. She runs out, and the leader says, let her go, brother. At least for the moment. You will follow her to her home. And there make an example for any others who should contemplate apostasy. I think that's how you say that.
Yeah.
Apostasy from our coven, which is, being going against the teachings of the church. And so we cut to her outside jumping into her sports car saying, freaky lunatics. Probably a good idea to report them to the cops.
So I love this page so much.
So many questions.
Yeah, but you have to think. So this is October of 1974. So the Satanic Panic is in full swing in pop culture. And it's starting to really trickle down to the most like mainstream of media. Like when you think of fads and trends, like they don't start in comic books. Like they kind of die in comic books.
Yeah, totally.
Almost. And so, yeah, the different things that are going on right now. I mean, I think we've mentioned this before, but so satanic storylines are in the NBC Mystery Movie of the Week right now in 73, 74. Like I think 74 is when that great McMillan and Wife episode is, when Sally gets a film of a satanic ritual and they have to kind of like try and figure it out. And it's it's great. Yeah, so it's everywhere. So we shouldn't be surprised that it's in this, but it's so cartoony and awesome.
Yeah,
like, I love everything about it.
I mean, we talked a bit, about the Saturday morning Satanism thing. Like you're saying, that's where hip stuff goes to die, right?
Yeah,
it's just like Facebook. Anything that when your mom knows about something, it's not cool anymore.
No.
Same thing here, and definitely we talked about before about how occultism came in with kind of hippie stuff, and then. Hippie shit died out in the early 70s. People are getting new age. So this stuff was crossing over, and then you get a Manson thing and the Moonies or whatever. And this is pretty obvious why this bubbles up into the consciousness at this point, for sure. But yeah, the openly satanic thing is funny. I don't know why. Because I kept just wondering, like, okay, she has her heart's in the right place, man. She wants to see if these guys can maybe help cure her brother and maybe her lycanthropy, you know? And she's like, how did you find these? Was there a bulletin board at the local university or community college? It's like, hey, are you into the occult?
Yeah.
No, but I have a friend who is, totally.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Lissa is 17.
Yeah, she is.
So she must have, maybe it was a flyer at a coffee shop. Or maybe she ran into some processed church guys and they gave them the Brotherhood of Ba'al's number.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Or she just called information. Who do I talk to about occult stuff? It's not for me, it's for my big brother.
So the next page, she's back at home and she's just relaxing on the couch, like kicking off her shoes, saying like, and I thought they might be able to cure Jack. Real smart, Lissa, babe. It's good to be home anyway, where there's peace and then right as she says that, the door is broken down. And she's like, what in the... And all the cultists come in. They're like, you have spurned the Brotherhood of Ba'al. Satan has therefore decreed your death. And so they grab her. He says, take her, brothers, make pain of her struggle and make waste of her home.
I'd like to see how the dude handles this. Wait, which one? Is it Satan or Ba'al, man? Get your story straight.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And these guys remind me of... sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say the cartooniness is just at the highest level you could imagine.
They remind me of... I don't know if you're a fan of the Omega Man, but the albino cursed or whatever. They remind me of them.
Yeah, they absolutely
I haven't seen that
do.
in a long time.
Yeah, you're right. That would be a good rewatch.
Yeah, once I saw Vincent Price's The Last Man on Earth, I kind of... Because I've read the books, you know. I'm sure you have too, several times. I Am Legend. I love the book, and I love the Vincent Price one. I grew up on the Charlton Heston one, which is the most cartoonish. I haven't seen the Will Smith one. Fuck that. I'm not watching that shit.
It's not great.
Although I was kind of interested because I'd read that Mike Patton made all of the creature sounds just by himself, like all the Foleying for the monsters. Because he's cool with that mouth music stuff.
Yeah, have you heard any of the records he put out on Alternative Tentacles that are just his voice? Like, no,
I've heard about them, but I've never heard of them.
Like if Bobby McFerrin was a Satanist, that's what the records would sound like. And it's so awesome. Mike Patton is a treasure. Oh, man.
Mr. Bungle and Phantomas. I love Phantomas.
Oh, Phantomas is so good. That's my favorite track off that record is the Godfather theme by far. Oh, it's so good. What's that? That record is they only have that one record, right? The director's cut.
That's the only one I know of. I thought they put a second one out, but I've never seen it if it's out. If there is one.
Yeah, the Godfather.
But I think Mr. Bungle got back together.
Really?
This year, I think they're working on a new album.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I would like to see that. I saw them on that first tour.
Wow.
I think it was at La Luna, if I'm correct. But yeah, it was amazing.
Dude. Yeah.
Psychotic circus music.
So the prologue's over.
On to chapter 2.
Yes. So Jack pulls up. He hasn't been home for a while. Stepdad / Uncle Philip is... where did he go? Once they all made up and... Did he go to Europe?
Let's just say he did, because he's not a antagonist anymore, so he's boring. He's just window dressing now. It's like, we don't give a shit about him. Let's just talk about Lissa. So
Jack pulls up at the Russell household, sees the door knocked in, runs in. He's horrified to see that the entire place has been tossed. He has some interesting... we need to address... Oh, sorry, this is called Chapter 2, To Host the Beast, which should be our EP that follows Rat's Hunger Gloom.
Will you make us some album art? And we can put it on our Instagram feed. That'd make me happy.
I don't work outside of MS Paint, but I will see what I can do. We'll get into this more, but I'm not a super fan. I can't believe the Doug Munch that wrote the issue we just talked about last episode is the same Doug Munch that's writing this issue. Because as Jack comes in and sees the house tossed and just thrashed, he says, it looked as though a black cyclone had gone out and gotten drunk and then scooped a hornet-stung bull out of a china shop and spit the rampaging beast right into the middle of the living room. Talk about your mini Hiroshimas.
Oh, it's just
Doug.
Oh, it's so awful.
Let's talk, babe.
It's so bad. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the writing was so great last issue, but it's almost like when they give the assignments for the giant size issues, they're just like, you don't have to try. Like, just get it in on time. Just don't worry. No one's going to read this shit. No one's going to pay 50 cents for this shit.
It needs to be X pages, right? That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it gets a little more interesting on the next page, because written on the wall of Casa Russell is this warning: the Brotherhood of Ba'al will punish betrayal with your blood. So Jack is freaking out. He's thinking that might be Lissa's blood on the wall. And he, I love it. He instantly wants to call Buck, because Buck's his friend, but he's also the guy that he calls his go-to when he's freaking out. He's like, going to call Buck. So he goes to do that and realizes that they have cut the phone line. So he angrily throws the phone down and then takes off.
Yes. So he jumps into his car. We get some great action shots of him slamming it into gear, peeling off. He bursts into Buck's place. Buck is writing. I couldn't help but think Buck probably almost finished one paragraph, and then, you know what I mean? He's like one of those Oliver Wilde guys, or Oscar Wilde. Excuse me. So yeah, he's like, Buck, give me all you got on the Brotherhood of Ba'al, fast. He's like, huh? He's like, come on, Buck. You must know something about him. Must have written an article on him or something. I haven't written anything on them, Jack, but I do know something about them. Bunch of kooks, from what I hear, as he's lighting a cigarette with a Zippo. Organized Satanists fronted by the millionaire Danton Vela. So we'll get to this in a second.
Oh,
the guy with the Seacliff mansion, the guy with the Seacliff mansion off Highway 1 near Malibu. Thanks. And Jack's starting to leave. He's like, whoa, where are you rushing off to? What's the deal with the Brotherhood? They've kidnapped Lissa, maybe murdered her. Okay, so that's that action-packed, exposition-filled page. But
let's talk.
Yes. So obviously, this is basically an anagram of Anton LaVey, but it's Danton Vela, which is fucking hilarious.
It's so funny.
Like I said, when Schmanton Chauvet wasn't available, yeah. He was in Fantastic Four, teaming up with Dormammu or something.
Oh, yeah. So I love it. Like Jack gets into his car and is backing up. He's backing up so fast, and Buck's just running after him, being like, Jack, you can't leave now. It's getting late. The moon. And he just takes off, of course. So, yeah, where is it? Okay, so the narration there says, but Lissa was in the soup, maybe scalding, and I didn't have time, no matter what the moon did to me. And then at the bottom, there's these 3 panels of transformation, which are okay. It's hilarious, but I'll take any transformation in a car, because you know what's going to happen next, and it always makes me laugh. It's always my favorite part of the issue, and we're going to drink to it on the next page. So yeah, tell us what happens.
So can you tell me, I think you missed something.
What did I miss?
What is Buck telling him? What is Buck concerned about?
He's concerned about the moon.
So we need to drink to that.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right. Okay, we drink to that.
So, folks, if you're not aware, Jack, when he's not aware that the moon is coming up or the sun is setting and it's full, we consider that a drinkable offense because he's a werewolf.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not the greatest transformation at the bottom here. He starts tugging at his shirt and kind of crying out in pain. His face is getting hairy. But, yeah, by that third panel, you have a werewolf holding a steering wheel, which if this happens again, it's going in the fucking drinking game, because I did not think we'd be seeing this many times.
I want it to happen every issue, because it's always the face. It's that reaction shot of that first panel where the werewolf transforms and he's like, oh, fuck. Like, I can do a lot of stuff, but I do not know how cars work.
So on the next page, yeah, I like the way Munch kind of describes this his mind as he becomes a beast. Though it says there was a white hot ripsaw tearing through my brain and acid sizzling through my veins. And then the transformation was complete, and then my senses sharpened, my intelligence nearly vanished, and the werewolf knew minus nothing about maneuvering a car. And meanwhile, he's veered off the road. He's on a cliff again, too. I mean, God, what are the odds? And he slams into a fucking redwood that's like the size of a house. And he jumps out just before it hits, does a cool kind of roll, lands on his feet because, he's a wolf. And then he's loping off to find the forest as his car is burning in the foreground. Looking for the forest, it's time for a drink.
More drinking. Yeah, how many fancy sports cars has he wrecked?
At least this one's not. That.
We really should have, but at least it's not Buck's car. I think Buck has learned not to loan him his car anymore.
I think the last werewolf driving lesson was Buck's car.
Yeah, it was. He's like, no, you can't drive my car anymore.
Jack's saying in his narration, I didn't know it then, but where I was headed was a beeline straight for.
And then, we on the next page switch to Danton Valia's place, and we see that the Brotherhood has found Frankenstein's monster wandering on the beach below the crazy, clifftop house that they have there. And Danton asks his cronies how they got the monster to follow them. And they say, we had occasion to mention your name, High Priest Valia, and he seemed to recognize it and became eager to follow us. I was just like, no, that guy's just kissing ass. He didn't.
We had occasion to mention your name. What is this guy in Fifth Avenue shopping? I had occasion to be here. I was in from Connecticut, and you mentioned Danton Vale.
Yeah, I know. I don't get it either. But it's pretty ridiculous. And so he's very excited to see Frankenstein's monster. So he's like, was it not the legend of Frankenstein which inspired my own experiments? And what better subject for our first ceremony? And he also says that finding Frankenstein's monster is a sign from Almighty Satan.
Yes. We need to talk about this Seacliff mansion because we've dealt with some old dilapidated seaside Malibu Gothic houses before. This is not that. This is Boogie Nights' house. We're in a den that has circular wraparound windows, probably looking at the sea. Purple curtains that kind of probably are on an electric thing that slide with a button on the wall. There's you can see in the inking, there's Kirby crackle on the inking, orange inking with these giant lights. So you can tell it's that really fucking thick popcorn that they would spray on ceilings in the 70s. So it had all that texture.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about?
No, this is Troy McClure's house. It's ultra mod.
Okay, this is the Simpsoniest. Shag green carpet that looks like grass. It's so fucked. The pile is so thick. So it is the grossest, most herpes-ridden looking fuck pad in the world. So yeah, he's like, hey man, you should be honored. You're going to serve the Dark Lord Satan. And, once we sacrifice, and Frankenstein's monster hears that, and he's like, fuck that. And he just smashes a table. And he grabs this cult member and pulls his hood off and reveals he's a kind of a pretty boy with a head of blonde hair. And the cult guy's like, what's he going to do? And he pulls him in front of a mirror and he's pointing frantically at the blonde guy. He's like, he's pointing at my face, nodding his head. And now he shoves him away and he says, now he's pointing at his face. And then he punches the mirror and breaks it. And the cult guy says, he's a maniac. He's crazy. And Danton says, on the contrary, Acolyte Croft, he is quite rational. So thank God somewhere along his journeys, he went to mime school while he was traveling around between Switzerland and New York City and L.A. God.
So yeah, on the next page, Valia says he understands that the monster wants a new face and a new body. So he says that a sacrifice of someone else is necessary for the soul migration to take place. And he tells Acolyte Croft to prepare for the ceremony. He says, and Danton Valia has got his hands up. He's really animated. And he's saying, for tonight, the children of darkness shall triumph. Tonight, the Brotherhood of Ba'al shall commune with Satan himself.
Lyrics for our songs.
Yeah, it's writing itself, basically.
So now we're just rushing ahead towards the end here because we're at chapter 3, the soul-shattering conclusion, which is titled The Flesh of Satan's Hate box set. Boom. Nope, the live one. I don't know. We'll figure that shit out. But now we are in a big chamber that resembles the one we saw before that Lissa stormed out of. Speaking of Lissa, she is gagged and on her knees and tied to a pole in this chamber. So it's pretty clear. Well, I'm going to read a little bit of Danton's stuff. So he says, let us pray, exalted Satan, bloated lord of filth and corruption, vile master of glorious depravity and wicked lusts. We beseech thee to hear us. The hour of midnight approaches, and with it, the Black Sabbath. It took a lot of will not to read that like a Southern preacher, by the way, like a televangelist.
You were going there, but there was a
I had
lot
to
of
hold
restraint. That really was good.
Sweet Jesus. The goat has been slain. The torch is dipped in its blood. We are ready then, Lord Satan, to consecrate thy name and thy spirit. And he points at Lissa, who's looking back over her shoulder, afeared, with the sacrifice of the one who has blasphemed thy name with renunciation and betrayal. He's put on quite a show here.
He is. And so we cut to outside of the house, and the beast has shown up basically by accident. Like it says, I guess the werewolf was attracted by the pretty lights, because Jack Russell sure didn't have anything to do with it.
Nope. He was running for the forest, literally.
Yeah, he was just running for the forest, and he's like, oh, that's a weird place with weird lights. I'm going to go check that out. Then some more of terrible Munch prose. But even if curiosity did kill a cat once, it was a stroke of heavy-duty luck for Jack that the werewolf decided to investigate. Oh, God. And so, yeah, he looks in the window, sees Lissa being placed on an altar.
You don't picture a window being in the setting for the sacrifice.
I know. No, it's such an ultra-modern house. There's windows everywhere.
It looks like a Temple of Doom, but there's windows. Oh, man.
It says he's like sacrificed for shunning the Dark Lord's coven. Untie her and place her upon the sacred altar of Satan. And now, my dear, since you refuse to join us in worship of the Dark Lord, you force us to forge from your blood a key which will unlock the door to Satan's more intimate worship for the rest of us. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of weirdly sexual, but that's cool.
So at that moment, we get a full page illustration of the werewolf crashing through the window on the beachside mansion into the satanic temple. And the cult members are looking up. Everyone's surprised. The Frankenstein monster's looking up. It's a great illustration, though. I don't mean to short it, but it's typical prose, like you're saying. Just he dives in with a snarl. His senses are blah blah blah. He sees his prey. The normal stuff we're associating with the werewolf entering a room at this point.
Yeah. So the beast has arrived. Valia kind of commands the monster to attack the beast before he can disrupt the ceremony. And the beast lunges, and the monster grabs him by the neck. So the beast kind of has the bloodlust now and like slashes the monster's face. Like, this is a cool page. I kind of like the angles on some of these illustrations. Like, this is an okay page. I like how the beast's foot like extends past the panel border in that second panel. Mm-hmm. Like, the storytelling is kind of on point on these 4 panels.
Let me tell you what's not on point.
Okay.
Munch drifting into this weird Peter Parker narration thing going on. So I'm going to read a little bit of Jack's thoughts here. The big one grabbed my attention first. Maybe because I couldn't miss him, or maybe because Baldy was fussing at him so much. And let's see those elsewhere. And that's when the werewolf decided to lunge. Too stupid to see that the pep talk had worked Shorty into a minor frenzy. I don't know. There's a bunch of this weird kind of jazzy, cool, hip guy, like smartass kind of narration that just doesn't work for me, especially out of nowhere. If he'd been this way the whole time, I might not have had that issue with it.
No, the narration is all over the fucking place in this issue.
Okay, just want to make sure that wasn't me. After slashing him, Frankenstein monster chucks him into the altar. He jumps up on top of the altar. There lunges toward him. Frankenstein's monster smashes him down to the ground with a double fist hammer move. And then the werewolf scrambles between his legs comically to get away from him.
So the next page, I'm very curious how it's colored in your original print version. Okay, so the beast, especially in that second panel, the beast is on the Frankenstein monster's back. And the monster's vest is colored the same as the beast's fur in that panel, like exactly the same.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Okay.
I didn't notice that.
So it really only happens on this page, and it makes the action really confusing. And in that second panel, it looks like the beast has like multiple arms and legs.
I did have to kind of parse that. Yeah, you're right. That was a little weird.
Yeah, it's a weird kind of coloring oversight from Petra Goldberg. And so, I mean, it had to have been some kind of miscommunication, because she's normally a total fucking pro and our favorite colorist.
Yeah.
So that just seems like a weird, because the color of his fur hippie vest kind of changes throughout the issue pretty wildly. So that
makes sense in different ambient light or whatever, but like, yeah,
it's just confusing.
Like in the previous panel, there's like, this is a torchlit chamber, so there's like highlights of that on his fur, and that when the beast is chomping on his neck. But in the next panel, like you're talking about, where it looks like there's two tarantulas fucking.
Yeah, it does. Well, because his vest has been colored pretty orange the last couple pages, and now it is exactly the same color as the beast's fur.
Yep.
So yeah, it really confused me. So the monster throws the beast to the ground, and he's knocked out. Like all goes black for him. And when he wakes up, the narration says, "And then I heard something like a berserk thunderstorm, trapped in an amplified echo chamber inside my head."
Those two panels of him waking up.
I know.
Like one, he looks like he just ate a bug, like he's all squished up and whatever. And the other one, he's just got kind of looking at the camera, like he looks super baked.
He does.
Or he just told me he has class in an hour, and he's like, just 5 more minutes.
It's really funny.
But you didn't mention something. This first panel on this page, the werewolf does jump on Frankenstein's back, much like in the cover, and he chomps on his neck, and he says, "I gnawed at his throat for a while, feeling his hot blood bubble into my mouth." Is Munch recycling himself? Didn't we get this last issue?
Yeah. Hot blood
when he
bubbling.
bit into Hackett?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
So there's a little bit of a half-step in here on Mr. Munch's part, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Danton Vale is pretty stoked about this. He had a human to sacrifice to Satan, and now he has a demon, a wolf demon, essentially. So Jack wakes up. He's bolted to the altar, and he thinks, "I was wrong. It was Baldy I heard getting it on with another chant I didn't understand." And the leader says, "We thank thee, beloved Satan, for sending the wolf demon among us, and we bow to thy will that his blood is better suited to honor thy name." And he's holding this really weird-looking dagger that looks like some kind of a 70s medallion that you would wear, like with your shirt unbuttoned all the way down to your navel, like, like those male, females, your birth sign, all that type of shit.
It does. Like, to me, it looked like one of those, like, 10-in-1 painter's tools, like a scraper, and how you open it up. Like, it looks exactly like that to me.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. And it looks like a fish hook at the bottom. It's really weird.
It's a weird dagger.
And to provide the arcane power necessary to accomplish our goal of soul transmigration, and we thank thee for this glorious moment when Satan's spirit will be brought to earth to inhabit the body of Frankenstein's monster. So it's revealed there's a switcheroo here, essentially.
Yeah.
Frankenstein thought he was going to get the blonde pretty boy's body, and it turns out they were just going to use him for Satan's. And the werewolf seems to be following this because he's looking up at the guy going, and Frankenstein's also following along as well. And he picked up what he picked up from his mumbo jumbo. It says, "Didn't please him at all." And he's kind of growling angrily.
Yeah, and he's really pissed off because on the next page, he just picks up Volya, and it reads, Jack's narration, "I was still weak, weaker than the straps holding me down to the slab, but I remember Lissa's bulging eyes and the hubbub of alarm as the giant hoisted Baldy over his head and slammed him into the inverted crucifix with a force which must have loosened the wall brackets, because guess what's going to happen?" And so, Volya's on the ground. He's winded. He just got whipped into a fucking wall, and he's like, "No, Satan, why hast thou deserted me?" And then the inverted crucifix falls down and crushes him. So in memoriam,
breaks his back. Oh, we got a drink.
Yeah, in memoriam.
How about
that? I'm glad there's lots of places to drink in this issue. It eases the pain.
Yeah. I really like that perversion of, like, why have you forsaken me? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The force that he threw him into that giant crucifix bolted to the wall probably broke his back anyway. He appears to be kind of dragging himself.
Yeah.
Which makes it even more pathetic when the crucifix falls down, breaks his hand, and then falls down further onto his back, definitely breaking his fucking back. And he screams out in terror. And so the cult members start reacting. He has killed the high priest. He must pay. And they all have their torches, and they're waving them around. And if you recall, Frankenstein has a thing about fire. So, he starts kind of freaking out. And they're saying, he's definitely squeamish when it came to having fire stuffed in his face. Maybe the werewolf recognized the fact that the giant had saved his life. As this is happening, he's straining on the bonds that are having him strapped down to the altar. You can see them starting to break, and then they break. He jumps off, starts attacking. He says the werewolf decided to get in on the act as he's leaping onto a cult member to tear his throat out, probably. I don't know.
Oh, he totally does, because on the next page, the beast starts slicing the faces of the cultists.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. Like balsa wood. Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. The narration. Either way, he sliced through the robed loonies like a buzzsaw through balsa wood. And he didn't give two beans about where the torches fell. So, yeah, the torches fall, light the place on fire. The beast and the monster are just murdering everyone in the room right now, which is very satisfying. And Lissa frees herself by burning at the ropes that bound her wrist. And then she just runs out.
Yeah, as she looks over her shoulder, the entire place is engulfed in flames. And you see the Frankenstein monster holding two cult members by the neck and the werewolf holding one up like he's by his shirt front or whatever of the robes, just shaking him. That's a great scene. For a shitty issue, this had some pretty fun stuff in it, I have to admit.
It did. I love the Satan stuff. Always love Satan stuff.
So we cut to the outside, the exterior, Buck's tearing in, and Lissa's out there screaming for him, Buck, thank God you're here. You can't imagine what's happened. Jack's in there as the werewolf, and there's a monster with him, Buck. I swear, a monster. And at this moment, the Seacliff Manor falls in flames off of the cliff into the ocean. She says, Buck, look, the whole place is tumbling into the sea. And he holds her as she says, oh, God, Buck, hold me. Just hold me, Buck. I don't want to think about it. Think about Jack's being dead. But it's true, Buck. It must be, because even if he survived the fire, the fall, didn't drown, I just know that the monster will never let him go free. And we cut to a shot of the surf meeting the beach, and there are a pair of claw feet walking out and a pair of monster feet walking out. So they both left. Looks like they went their separate ways, too. I was hoping they would maybe go have a burger or something together, but no.
No. Yeah, that cliffside manor fell into the ocean really quick after just being lit on fire.
I think it was balsa wood. And it says at the bottom, next issue, and this is not the next issue for us. This is the next issue for the Giant Size. Another 30-page Werewolf by Night blockbuster. First night, frenzied fear.
Oh, boy.
So, thoughts, feelings?
Yeah, well, it's a Giant Size issue. And it's fun. I liked the Anton LaVey character. I love Saturday morning Satanism.
Yep.
It's always good, but it's a Giant Size issue, so it's a slog. They're poorly written.
Yeah.
The art is always just it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing is just passable.
It feels like it should come in a box of cereal.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, I had fun with all the cult stuff you're saying, all the occult things, the fighting, the violence. Once it gets going, it's fun. But I mean, that literally the first third was just getting Frankenstein from New York City to L.A.
And in a normal issue of Werewolf by Night, that would have been done in 2 panels.
Yeah, totally. I was going to say a page, but yeah, 2 panels is probably more realistic.
Yeah, but no, it was 8 pages in this.
Yeah. So
even though, then the best part are the 2 winos by far.
We have the winos, the cult members, the weird porno cult house. I don't know. It was all right. I liked it a lot better than the Hydra Tiger story. I tell you that.
I did too.
I did not enjoy that story.
No, that was just poorly done.
Yeah.
No, this one was fun.
Yeah. It was all right. So, like you were saying at the beginning, Marvel had a plan for how to approach these giant size titles. And we said this several times. I won't beleaguer the point, but this is supposed to be a rotating type of thing, and they decided no. But then they introduced Tigra in the first one, and then she's not here. But the letters from issue 1 have come pouring in. So there is a letters column for Giant Size Werewolf called Mail It to Tigra.
Oh no, is it really called that?
Yes. So
Oh,
I don't
boy.
understand the plan. I think maybe they were trying to get Isabella or someone else on the hook to write a Tigra backup. And so it would be a werewolf story, a Tigra backup, and a reprint or two, which I guess would have made sense. They should have been doing that from the beginning, honestly. They should have had, like we said, a digest, an ongoing thing of several monsters, or a rotating thing, I don't know.
Yeah, it should have just stayed giant-sized creatures. But it's weird. I mean, I know that Werewolf by Night was selling okay. I mean, it wasn't one of their top sellers, but it's weird that they just went all in on Jack Russell for the giant size.
It is weird. I mean, it wasn't like Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man. One of those books like had that backup of like White Tiger for a while. And you get to meet this character and like they slowly develop, and it's just like 4 pages, an ongoing story. I love the character White Tiger. I like it as a mantle that's passed down generationally, that stuff. But they should have done that with like Tiger or something like that instead of like just reprinting some 20-year-old horror stories.
Yeah, I don't know. I fully agree.
I don't know how much she showed up between now and West Coast Avengers, so I can't really speak to how they developed her as a character, and I don't care, honestly, but I don't know.
Yeah, she shows up in Marvel Chillers, which is next year. It's in 75.
Those all new, or were those mixed reprints? And
no, those were all new. Those just a normal like 25-cent book, just a normal page count. But the first one is Modred the Mystic.
Mm-hmm.
I only know because I read that just for our kind of fun Darkhold conversation.
Right.
But and then I guess for the next couple issues, it's just Tigra's like solo venture. But it's in a book called Marvel Chillers, which I think only lasted like 6 issues, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I don't think it went past 10 or 11 for sure. Okay, well, let's read a letter from this, just because we typically read a letter, and maybe just get the 1974 reaction to the first issue. All right, so let's read something from Mail It to Tigra. Dear Marvel, was I ever horrified with what you did to my absolute favorite Marvel heroine, the cat? Tigra the Werewoman, indeed. For your information, Greer Nelson was the best comic personality I've ever met. She was exactly what we female readers have been waiting for. A hard-charging, free-swinging, wisecracking woman crime fighter who used intelligence and muscle power to combat evil. It was the cat who originally introduced me to Marvel Comics, and her team-up with Spider-Man got me interested in all the other Marvel stars. Till now, I buy every Marvel comic on the stands. The Cat and Shanna the She-Devil, another all-time great comics character, were realistic in the fashion of most of comicdom's costume superheroes. In this day of women's liberation, martial arts schools, and increased awareness of female potential in athletics, it is not too far-fetched to identify with superheroines with superior strength, agility, fighting prowess, and courage. But you've destroyed Greer Nelson by turning her into the most ridiculous of monsters, a very human-looking were-tiger. A few discrepancies. You remarked that the were-woman's strength was inferior to that of the werewolf's. Come on now, guys. A were-tiger's strength should be far superior to that of a werewolf. Isn't a tiger's strength superior to a wolf's? This is especially true when you consider that Greer Nelson was stronger as a human woman than is Jack Russell as a human man. Okay, do I get a no prize for that observation? The rough drawing of Tigra on page 46 was far more to my liking than the Tigra of the cover and the story. Okay, if you had to make such a farce of your greatest character, at least the rough drawing looked more like a were-tiger should look. Also, should you continue with Tigra, get her out of that bikini and into the tunic in the rough draft. And for heaven's sake, make her more muscular. A woman as strong as Greer, Tigra, would not have such scrawny arms and puny shoulders. And, in fact, this is a criticism I have of all Marvel superheroines. Yes, women do develop hard biceps and strong shoulders and muscular bodies when they work out. I lift weights, practice karate, and otherwise exercise, and I have a very muscular physique, as any woman would. Anyhow, thanks for once again considering your female readers, even though your latest offering is slightly offensive. Maybe someday the public will become liberated enough for a realistic, truly heroic female comic star. If the were-tigress is the only way Marvel can improve the status of women for the time being, then I hope your creation succeeds. But with a few improvements I've suggested. Please. Keep on fighting, Mr. Isabella, and I'll keep on grabbing every Marvel comic I can get my hands on. Ms. Fig Armstrong, Los Altos, California. Should I read the response?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm suspect on this.
Okay. Fig. And by the way, this is Fig, Phyg. Fig.
Okay.
A great name, by the way. We agree and disagree. First of all, Tony tells us that he was thinking of Tigra, despite her name, as a were-cat, not a were-tigress, in which case her strength would have been somewhat less than the werewolf's. But he forgot, he admits, to take into consideration Greer Nelson's own superior strength in her human form. So, the next time Tigra and the werewolf meet, they'll be equals, which should satisfy just about everybody. Regarding Tigra's musculature, here we agree. We were working toward a less anemic version of the cat when that book was dropped, and we'll try to make Tigra a bit more solid and less flabby looking next time she appears. We'd better. Most of the guys around here are afraid we'll run into you in a dark alley if we don't, Fig. And as we mentioned before, a costume change is very likely, though whether it'll be to the tunic or not, we can't say. Still, thanks for a very interesting, informative, and impassioned critique. We liked Greer Nelson too, which is why we, as some readers would have it, did this to her in the first place. We wanted to keep her around. One last note. There are still a good many liberated ladies stalking the pages of Marvel Comics. Shanna appeared recently in Daredevil, and the Black Widow, a lithe, muscular, no-holds-barred heroine, if we ever saw one, is a regular in that book. And don't forget, how could ya, the inimitable Thundra in the Fantastic Four and Mantis in the Avengers. In Mantis's case, you have to admit, any woman who can floor the mighty Thor isn't exactly puny. But how... what did you think of this? What did you think of this issue of Giant Werewolf by Night, folks? What the hell?
You got to do some editing on that for them.
Okay. But what did you think of this? Wow, that was a trip. Okay. But what did you think of this issue of Giant Werewolf by Night, folks? It's not Giant Werewolf by Night. It's Giant Werewolf, isn't it? It's not Werewolf by Night.
No, it is giant-sized werewolf.
Jeez. But what did you think of this issue of Giant Werewolf by Night, folks? The address is at the top of the page, as usual. So write. Let us hear from you. Excelsior and growl.
Okay, well, that's definitely Roy Thomas. I liked that. I liked that letter by Fig. For the first half of it, I was just like, is this Roy Thomas writing this letter? Because it was just like, I don't know how many people actually liked the cat and Shanna the She-Devil. Not because they were great female characters, just because the books weren't super well done. That's the only thing that would make me think that letter was a plant at first. But then I'm like, no, that sounded real. The second half definitely sounded real, and I agree with her.
I do too.
Yeah, I think she actually brings up a lot of good points. Which a lot of times the letters that we'll read are people either just bitching about stupid shit or trying to make themselves look cool. There's not a whole lot of suggestions that they make that actually seem rational or reasonable. And I felt like
have to wait till the internet to find that out about humanity.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I thought a lot of the points that she brought up were actually pretty good.
Well, Fig Phyg. I bet we can find her pretty easily on social media if she's real.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're gonna do some research.
Yeah, I haven't peeked ahead much at the giant size book, so I don't know if the letters columns continue. I don't know. I think the reprints are pretty much the same. As far as volume.
I wouldn't know because I'm reading them on Marvel Unlimited. I did notice that. I think issue 4 and 5 are drawn by some of the Filipino artists.
Really?
Not the giant, not the big names, but yeah, definitely some that I recognized from the index of Filipino artists that I have. It's Ruben Yandok, I think. So yeah, so I'm excited about that. That'll at least mix things up a little bit, make the giant size kind of a little more interesting.
Definitely. Yeah, I think the only thing worse than being a giant size and just being kind of a disposable story is having the exact same team that's doing the monthly. Like, what's the point?
Yeah. So we can see that team do a shittier job than they normally do. So it's
throw one of those to, Sal Buscema. I'd love to see him draw the werewolf.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Like just
someone different.
Pass it around, yeah. So that's that. Next week, we'll be talking about Werewolf by Night number 22.
That's right.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some stuff, but if you folks don't want to hear us talk about WandaVision as a whole, and particularly the last couple episodes, this is a chance to hop off. All we're going to do right now is talk about WandaVision on Disney Plus. So if you don't want to hear WandaVision talk, we'll see you next week. Are you still here? You're still here. Okay, good. So Jacob.
Okay.
Fish.
So how fucking exciting was it to see the Darkhold in the finale? Like, we knew there was a magical book in Agatha's basement. Like, we saw there was a magical book, but I was reading online. People were like, it's probably the Darkhold, but it could be this other thing. And I was like, please let it be the Darkhold. And it totally was. It's a huge fucking deal. The Darkhold ends up being like a pretty huge thing in the series. And I know it showed up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I guess it showed up in Runaways I was reading about, but I didn't watch that.
You didn't watch Runaways?
No, I didn't.
I didn't see season 2. It's in our queue, but we loved the first one.
Yeah, I know. I need to check it out.
It was frustrating. You read the book, right?
Yeah.
It's like the first couple arcs.
Yeah, I read the first arc.
It's essentially the first trade expanded, excruciatingly decompressed, and a bunch of stuff added in. Like, I think that the big reveal, which is the conceit of the book itself, it happens in the first 2 issues, maybe 3.
Yeah.
That the parents, that's like the reveal of the season.
Oh my God.
So it moves that slowly.
Okay.
But it's really good.
Yeah, I need to check it out. But so like those things were like the normal, like I don't know if you would say network, but like those were the Marvel network stuff, either I think Runaways was Hulu and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was actually on like fucking ABC or something.
Yeah.
But so and so that those second tier like kind of TV properties didn't really matter as much as the whole MCU. But this fucking matters. Like, the Darkhold is in Agatha's basement. It ends up being, she calls it the Book of Sins. She calls it the Darkhold. It's this giant thing. Like how Agatha talks to Wanda and just says, there's a whole chapter in this book about you. I was just like, oh my God, that's so great. So we should just talk a little bit about our thoughts about the series itself. I really loved it. I mean, I was slightly disappointed that it just kind of ended up being a bit of a Marvel movie at the end. I knew it had to be to do the story, but I was just so caught up in the kind of mystery and the cool conceit of the different sitcoms and getting all those references. And that was much more exciting to me than just like the normal MCU world.
Mm. I'm with you there.
Yeah, I mean, I still loved it. I still thought it was a really satisfying ending. I loved that there weren't big guest star reveals or anything like that. That it was just and that I think fit the series most. I know a lot of people were angry that their theories weren't right, but I think it needed to be focused on Wanda, and that's what it was. And I thought it was great.
I'm guessing that some of the people were hoping that Magneto would appear and be revealed to be her father.
Yeah, but that would take away from her whole story. The whole thing's about her and her grief. And it's like if they did some big fake out at the end, and it's someone else this whole time, then it's like, oh no, that's not satisfying.
I imagine people thought that since the multiverse is being booted up here in the MCU that they were going to find a way. I mean, definitely with having both Pietros appear, people were speculating, oh my God, what's going to, right? I mean, anything can happen now.
But but that was the biggest fake out they did.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, he wasn't fucking Pietro at all. He was just some dude named Ralph Boner. It's just, which I thought it was great. I love it when Marvel fucks with people.
Yeah.
That kind of makes me happy. I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. That's sense.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how much I liked it in Captain Marvel, literally inverting the roles of Skrulls and
Kree.
Kree, thank you.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't like that. I appreciate where they're coming from, but I prefer it more like Iron Man 3 Mandarin kind of fuck with you kind of thing. That was brilliant.
I thought that was brilliant too, and a lot of people hated it, but I'm like, no, that's the only way you could do that, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, the characters,
Yeah.
so loaded. So, yeah, I'm with you. I thought the first half of it was absolutely flawless.
Yeah.
Coming as a fan, along with you probably, and a lot of people were thinking, is this their kind of approach at House of M, where it's revealed that Wanda's children are not living beings, they're constructs of magic, that no one realized that. And when she didn't realize it either. And then when she did, she has a psychotic break and alters reality for everyone, which is a kind of a cool storyline. I felt that when it ultimately started telling its story in the last 3 episodes, like you said, it went to Marvel dumb, like Marvel Worlds shit, and not in a bad way. I don't mean shit. But like, I had to explain to Renee, like, okay, because she loved it and she has no idea what the fuck's going on. Yeah. But she's only seen the movies, and she was just like, I was like, so I think what they're doing here is, in the comics, she's incredibly powerful, and she, has this hex magic, and she can alter reality. And the biggest problem is that when Marvel sold the X-Men franchise to Fox in 2000, they sold the term mutants, and Marvel couldn't use the term mutants to refer to anyone as mutants. So they had this weird, awkward position in the Age of Ultron where they had to make them experimented upon by Baron Strucker or whoever it was to release these latent powers which weren't addressed as anything. So she just had these nebulous powers, which make no sense or never explained in any kind of way in the Marvel movies at all. Like, as far as I can tell, she just does stuff and it kind of works how it works and whatever. So this was a cool way to bind her to magic and to basically kind of undo that. Like, she's not a mutant because Agnes. Agnes.
Well, first Agnes and then Agatha Harkness. So
okay. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. It was okay. That's why I kept getting it wrong. Yeah. So she was saying, like, was walking through her history and seeing her childhood and everything else. So she was kind of hinting at the fact that this was in you to begin with. And then it was brought out in you in science. And if you actually study, like, she's her mentor in the comics. Like, if you study, you have a title. You are the Scarlet Witch. You are this essentially a prophesied being in the witch world. So I guess so. For me, it was super cool seeing the Darkhold. I love. That it is as important in the movies and TV world for them as it is to me in my Marvel reading world. And I wanted to ask you what to make of the post-credit sequence at the end, because you said, and other people said online, I checked after I talked to you, like, that's most people reading that as Wundagore Mountain, which is where she and Pietro grew up as children. But there's this interesting dichotomy where it feels to me like she somehow through magic split herself to where her emotional being or her physical being is there and drinking tea and mourning and doing whatever she's doing, coming to grips with her new reality. And then we cut to inside the cabin, and her a witch version of herself is doing double duty like a clone, and is in there powering through the Darkhold and just eyes glowing and magic just swirling around her, like she's just powering up and learning everything that there is to know.
Yeah, I either thought that or that it was her astral form.
Oh, so it's straight magic. I didn't know if it was like literal, like concrete, like that's happening, or if it was like she's doing double duty, she's consuming, and it's like, okay, no, if it's her astral form like Doctor Strange, that makes sense.
Yeah, but like you said, she is basically all powerful. So kind of like all bets are off. She can basically do anything. And I thought it was interesting that I think out of all of the storylines, I think WandaVision drew most from the 12-issue miniseries, which is where the kids show up and they're, basically parts of Mephisto's soul, I think. And yeah, a little bit of House of M. Mm-hmm. And I love how before WandaVision came out, like Tom King was kind of like doing snarky like Instagram posts, just being like, "Oh, they're dealing with different realities and stuff. They're just just stealing all my ideas." And then by the end, I'm just like, "No, they took nothing from your series. They took the name of the dog."
Yeah.
It's just like, that's all you contributed, dude.
Although
like,
he told a great Vision story, right?
Oh, he told an
liked
amazing Vision.
Okay.
I love it. I mean, I absolutely love his Vision story. He was just a little too snarky on Instagram about WandaVision. That's the only reason why I'm giving him any shit. No, his Vision story is top notch.
I'm surprised he's on Instagram as a writer. I would expect him to be a Twitter dude, like most comics writers are.
Yeah, no, I mean, I follow him on Instagram. He doesn't post a whole lot, but I thought it was funny looking back now because I remember Bendis posting. And he was the only writer that did like Wanda and Vision stuff that got like this really fancy like promo box of all this crazy shit with WandaVision. He had posted about it like before it came out. He was just like, "Oh, thanks, Marvel. You sent me this badass thing." And I'm like, "Oh, because they took a lot of the story from actual Bendis stuff."
Probably,
you know?
yeah.
And that's why Tom King didn't get that box.
So I'm not a super huge Avengers comics guy. I've read like the first Essential or maybe two. How do they rein in her power? She's so outclassed, or she outclasses everyone so much. How do they handle that in an economical, writerly way to not make her a god? How do they rein her in?
Well, what era are you talking about?
I don't know.
Post,
I mean, just in general.
House of M?
No, I mean just in general. Like, how has her powers evolved over? When did you get introduced? 67 or something? 66? She showed up with she showed up in X-Men first?
Yeah,
or?
she showed up in like, I don't know, one of the first, between the first 10 issues of X-Men, I thought.
Shit. So she's been around since like 64.
Yeah, I could be wrong. But no, I mean, yeah, she's been a character. She was part of the Brotherhood of Evil, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like you said, I kind of am in and out of Avengers stuff. I started paying more attention. I remember getting the 12-issue series when it came out.
You're talking about the 80s, mid-80s.
Yeah, the 80s one.
Okay.
Yeah. It was Vision and Scarlet Witch, the maxi series.
That's where they got married. I'm trying to remember I didn't remember the whole thing. I just had some mismatched issues here and there.
Yeah, I know. No, that's when the kids were part of it, and it ends up that they were pieces of Mephisto's soul, and then that whole thing kind of basically ends up, I think, Agatha, kind of wipes her mind clean of the memories of the kids, and then during Avengers Disassembled, which is also Bendis, which is kind of the precursor to House of M.
Yeah,
she's basically reminded. I think it's Janet Wasp, like makes some offhand comment like, "Oh, I can't believe you thought you could have kids with this kind of life," and then that kind of like brings back all of her memories.
PTSD.
Yeah, and so that's why, because Wanda's basically behind all the terrible shit that happened in Avengers Disassembled, like all that awful stuff, and then from there they're just like, "Oh shit, she's a big deal. We have to deal with," and so that's what. That's when House of M starts.
Mm. Okay.
And so that's the stuff I'm most familiar with. But yeah, I kind of went back and did a little bit of digging about the Darkhold, because we're most familiar with it as it applies to Werewolf by Night. And I went and like I said, I read the first issue of Marvel Chillers, which is Modred the Mystic, and that shows him kind of, I don't know, like in Arthurian times, like finding the Darkhold, getting his magic powers from it. I have never read a comic that said verily more than Marvel Chillers #1.
You ever read a Thor comic?
More than Thor, more than Conan, more than anything. I was just like, oh my God, fucking this guy. Yeah, so it wasn't great, but I think that's the next appearance of the Darkhold after Werewolf by Night, if I'm correct. I think that's from 75.
And that was the Darkhold proper. It was a bound.
Yeah, that's the Darkhold. That's when it starts taking on different kind of backstory a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not sure if that's where the Thawne stuff shows up, but I think that's a little bit later. And then I started reading that series from, I think, the late 90s. It was actually called The Darkhold, like Tales from the Darkhold or something like that.
Early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was okay. It was the art was actually kind of cool. It was Richard Case, and I think he worked on Doom Patrol. He did some of the cooler stuff on Doom Patrol, if I'm correct. And so I actually liked it. Like the art, most comic art from the 90s, I kind of think is awful. But no, his stuff, it was really cool. I read like 2 issues, and that again kind of, takes the Darkhold myth and changes it a bit.
I'm looking at Doom Patrol, the House of Jack Belt, and I'm seeing that art, and I'm picturing that Darkhold cover where the girl in the leather jacket's like screaming. I think it might be issue 1 of it, actually.
Yeah.
Totally the same guy. Yeah, and that, I feel like that spun out of, help me here, the Morbius, Sons of, what was that whole crossover thing with all the occult characters?
Sons of Midnight or something like that.
Thank you. Something like
that.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was. Yeah, because I like that I read the first issue of that Darkhold series, and it was like part 3.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, fuck you, Marvel.
Yeah, I recalled, I obviously I was like excited, and I tried to jump onto that whole thing. Didn't really work out for me.
No, I mean, yeah, like we've talked about before, mid 90s, I kind of jumped ship on the big 2 for quite a long time.
Yeah. There was definitely that, it's a running joke at this point with pouches and all that shit, but like in that Midnight Suns thing, it was everybody had leather jackets and a 5 o'clock shadow and sunglasses and like kind of a almost mullet or a ponytail, like you're just a little too broody and leathery.
Yeah.
Even at the time, I could tell it was too edgy. Like it felt trying too hard.
Yeah, it definitely was trying too hard. But I didn't. I kind of want to go back and watch the credits, the actual credits of the finale, not like the post-credit scenes, to see if Jerry Conway was given a special thanks
for creating the Darkhold.
Fucking creating the Darkhold.
He should be.
He should be. Yeah, but I just love and he hasn't mentioned anything about it on Twitter. I would think he would be all over that shit.
I check Twitter, our feed, a couple times a day. I haven't seen him mention WandaVision once, which is weird.
That's really weird. Because he's normally all over that stuff. Did it piss him off somehow?
I'm going to go through his feed and see if he talked about it at all since it launched. When was that? January? February?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I'm having way lower expectations because everything I saw of WandaVision had me raise my expectations for art. And, so it did that in spades. I love the first 4 episodes or whatever, like passionately. I'll watch them a lot. I probably won't go back so much to the climax of the series because I get it. It was serving a function. Yep. It was big and loud and marvelly. But God, I love those sitcom episodes with a passion that I can't even express.
Yeah, I think it was hard for me to choose a favorite moment, even though I will have to say that they got Kathleen Hanna to record the Malcolm in the Middle song just blew my fucking mind. Like, how amazing is that? Yeah, it's basically like, oh, we need Bikini Kill to do the Malcolm in the Middle theme. And I was like, yeah, it's a husband. So she's covering
the They Might Be Giants Malcolm in the Middle song?
No, I mean, no, it's not the actual song, but like the kind of song. Yeah.
Analog of, okay.
Yeah, I was reading it's like a husband and wife team that wrote all the sitcom songs, and God, they're perfect. They're absolutely perfect.
Is it the Too Many Cooks people?
Oh God, that would be.
Should have been.
It really should have been. Wow. No, I'm with you. I think that I feel bad for Falcon and Winter Soldier because I know that was supposed to come first, and because of COVID and everything, it just ended up that WandaVision came first. And yeah, I don't think Marvel's going to do anything like that ever again. I think that's going to stand as a real daring, as a real emotionally, amazingly satisfying. Like the rest is just going to be Marvel shit, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Totally
Loki
fine.
Looks like a fun mystery story with Loki as a detective. Like I can get behind that. My wife's moist for him, whatever. My wife's hot for Tom Whateverston. So we'll watch that. It'll be fun. And I don't know what else is on the docket. Oh, I'm excited for Moon Knight. That potentially could be a really fucking good show.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. And I'm excited for What If.
I forgot they're doing What If. Is that animated?
It's animated, yeah, but I'm really excited for it.
But it's all the voice actors doing their respective roles, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so I'm glad they took that. To me, that feels like giving Alan Moore free reign with a Swamp Thing, or Grant Morrison a Animal Man, or a Doom Patrol, and just saying like, we know you have a shit ton of talent, and we know this is going to fucking freak some people out, but we believe in you. So the fact that WandaVision exists gives me some faith in humankind over commerce. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
Yep, I love it, and I've developed a crush on Elizabeth Olsen over the last month or so that I didn't realize I had.
I'm pretty sure the entire world has.
She's amazing, and she got to deliver. I mean, she had a blast in those sitcom episodes, but when this last episode here, she really emoted and showed herself as an actress with great range, I thought. So I was super impressed.
God, the range over the entire series, holy shit. Like, I just think she's going to win all the awards, and probably should.
Yeah. No, she's amazing. And I can't believe she's related to those freaky twins. So WandaVision, thumbs up from me. Not perfect, but damn near.
Oh, damn near perfect.
Next week, we'll be talking about Werewolf by Night number 22 with a guest. Jacob, you want to talk about that? Somebody very special.
Yeah, someone very special to both of us. It's our friend Rebecca Cole, who is an amazing musician, has played in lots of really, really great bands. And we're going to be really excited to have her on. I wanted to have her on because she listens to the show, but doesn't read comics and has no frame of reference for Werewolf by Night or anything. So I wanted to bring her on to have a completely fresh perspective about the looniness that we deal with every week. So I think it's going to be really fun. She's great and hilarious and one of my best friends. So I'm excited to have her on.
Yes, she is incredibly talented and super smart and funny. So I in my mind, I'm always trying to direct the show at someone like her that's like, doesn't read comics, but just likes to listen to people talk and have a good time. So it's fun that she's going to be on. That's all.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to mix stuff up. I'm really excited.
Yes. All right, so join us next week for that, folks. Till we meet again, neath the full moon, furry ones. Here's howling at ya, Don Pardo. Till we meet again, neath the full moon, furry ones. Till we meet again, neath the full moon, furry ones. Here's howling at ya. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Oh my God. Hey.